Hi there, welcome to the Bristol Show 2025. I am Brad and I am joined by Ollie from PMC.
Yes. Hi, nice to meet you, Brad.
It's lovely to meet you. I've seen you at the show before, you know, because you must have done a few of these now.
Done a few Bristols.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you see me running around looking increasingly more tired throughout the show.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, we start all fresh-faced and then by Sunday, we're all very sleepy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah. You're downstairs, you've got your lovely big room.
Yes.
You've got some new speakers that we will talk about. But for those people that are at home and maybe don't know PMC, where have they been living, first of all? Under a rock, apparently. But why don't you tell us a bit about PMC and who you are and what you do?
Great, yes. So, PMC has been around for nearly 35 years now. Mm-hmm. It was set up by two passionate audiophiles. One of them is my father.
Yep.
He was an ex-BBC engineer and, long story short, was exposed to a lot of speakers, thought he could produce something of higher quality, and he set about doing it.
That's the common... the engineers of that era, your sort of your dad, your Julian Vericas, your Roy Gandys, it's all like, I don't like what I'm gonna, you know, rather than complain about stuff, they're like, I'm gonna make it better.
Just gonna set off and do it my own way.
Yeah.
So we started off making speakers primarily just for studios. Hence the name PMC, stands for Professional Monitor Company. Yep. Very studio-y sounding.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Sounding name. And then, not too long after that, we started making speakers for both the hi-fi and studio markets.
Yeah.
So what we've brought out at the show this year is a range of products called Prophecy.
Yes.
Big new passive hi-fi range, going from Prophecy 1, which is like a bookshelf, two-way, all the way up to Prophecy 9, which is the flagship three-way floor standard model.
Yeah, that's quite an expansive range you've got going there.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they sit in the same territory that the older 25i passive sat in. So they essentially now replace those.
Yeah.
The design goals of these, we'll talk about a little bit about like the technologies, which are what these props are to do with.
I did wonder why you're just littering my table.
Just like to turn up with bits of speakers. Not even PMC. I was just tearing them off other manufacturers.
Just take it up.
Yeah.
Why not? Ruin the competition. Just taking them off.
Here they are.
But what have we got here?
Well, we've got a crossover. We've got a big slab of aluminium, and we've got a waveguide.
Right.
So I was just conscious that you actually said, tell me a bit about PMC, and I've now just dived straight into engineer at heart. I've gone straight to look at the new
Look at the shinies.
Things.
I think that's fair enough, you know. We spoke about it, Dad. We don't want to talk about it all the time. God. So,
the thing is, like, the design philosophy of PMC has always followed what Dad set out. And it does follow the studio heritage in that whether we're making speakers for the studio world or hi-fi stuff, it's the same design team, they're following the same design goals. We're looking for accuracy, neutrality, and clarity.
Yeah.
Characteristic of all PMC speakers is super low distortion, and what's synonymous with PMC is also transmission line.
Got ya.
The enclosure acoustic design.
Yeah.
The reason that we have always used transmission line is it's quite complicated, but essentially it allows very low distortion bass.
Right.
Which complements the rest of the low distortion design philosophy.
Yeah.
So, Prophecy.
Yes.
I think the more interesting thing, or the most relevant thing, is this. So this is an extruded piece of aluminium.
It's not a cheese grater.
It's not a cheese... Well, you could. I haven't tried yet.
You haven't tried? Well, there we go.
It's an expensive cheese grater,
So did this start life as a solid block and it has been routed out? Or?
Well, now we're getting into engineering talk, which I like. Okay, so no, this is actually this profile across, what am I pointing that out? This profile here is a tooled piece, and you squeeze hot aluminium through a tool, and it comes out as like a bar or like that profile shape.
Like grown-up Play-Doh.
Exactly. Grown-up Play-Doh. Yes. And then we machine out the bits that we need for it to fit into the speaker.
Yeah.
What it is I was saying we're calling it Laminair X.
Right.
So Laminair was a technology that we first brought out about 10 years ago, which was a aerodynamic device fitted into the vent of the transmission line. So it works very much in conjunction with the transmission line. It manages the airflow at the vent, and by using these techniques, we reduce turbulence, avoid it maybe altogether, and we're talking about like little turbulences which you hear as like air noise, like chuffing. less audible is like a more faint distortion.
Yeah.
And it also takes a bit of the energy away from the quarter wavelength resonance, which is the enclosure cleverness.
Yes.
So, Laminair X is the latest iteration of this, where we're essentially using complex simulation techniques to fully optimize how Laminair works.
Yeah.
Laminair was a great theory, and it worked.
Yeah.
This goes up to like 99%. It's like, this is all we're going to get out of this.
Yeah.
And the calculations essentially end up with designs which look a little bit more like this, more fins, careful spacing between the fins calculated, and also the length are the key things that set it apart. And Laminair X is a patented technology.
There we go.
Patent pending, I should say.
Patent pending, yes.
My patent attorney has said patent pending.
Because you're chief designer.
Yes.
And you're also CEO.
Now.
Like,
well, yes. Like,
I was told that, but was I not allowed to say it? Is this a surprise?
World exclusive, brand new information.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks very much. So I'm actually co-CEO.
Right.
Going back to the history of PMC,
Yep.
two guys started it. One was my dad. Another guy was called Adrian Loader.
Right.
His son Tom Loader is now similar age to me.
Yep.
Is the co-CEO alongside me for PMC now.
Well, that's really nice.
Family
though.
business, and we're now into.
Did you guys grow up together?
We did.
Oh, I love that. That's really nice.
I mean, like, there's a bit more of a complex story about it. We're stepbrothers.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we say it's a family business.
Yeah.
It's a family
it really is a family business. Wow. Okay. That's very cool. So sorry.
So I was just going to say, yeah. So stepping into the new role. The Prophecy products, we've got a wonderful design team, which I'm very proud of because I've sort of built them up over the years. They're brilliant, and they have done most of the design work for Prophecy. And I think I feel confident in that team of people to carry forward product development at PMC, allowing me a bit more freedom to step into the new role.
Well, yeah, and it sounds like an exciting time for you.
Yeah,
it really does. Now, obviously, we talked about the grown-up Play-Doh cheese grater, which was called.
This is the Laminair X.
Laminair X. I remember that because I can't really go around calling it a big cheese grater.
You could do.
You could do. And then we've got the crossover here.
Yes. The reason I brought a crossover is to kind of just show off that there's lots of components on it. This is from the Prophecy 9, which is the three-way.
Right.
So we've obviously got 3 different filters. Hence the rather complex crossover.
Yeah.
But the reason there are even more components is that we use 24 dB per octave electronic filters.
Right.
The reason we do that is in conjunction with some of the other elements of our speakers, which is we want a lot of control over those crossover slopes.
Yeah.
We want the phase response to be exactly perfect, and we want the slopes to be quite steep and well controlled themselves.
Yeah.
And that allows us to use our drive units in like their optimal frequency band.
Got you, yeah.
So for sure, there's a lot going on here, and you don't really want to drive your signal through loads and loads of components.
No.
However, the benefits of a well-designed crossover outweigh them.
Yeah, brilliant. And
standard of air core inductors, fancy steel laminate inductors, film capacitors.
I mean, it looks stunning.
The important thing about complex crossovers such as this, where you do have a lot of components, is being considerate of component interactions.
Yeah.
Inductors are electromagnetic devices, and as such, they interact with each other.
Yes.
So you've got to be very careful about the positioning on the board of them and the orientation of these
Did you
components.
have to play with like the layout?
Yeah, absolutely. You move them around the board, and in these inductors, you've got electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
Operating around them, and if they loop together, then you have crosstalk between components.
Yeah.
So just being aware of that, and also being able to use simulation. You can design a very sophisticated crossover.
Wow! And finally, this piece here. What am I holding here?
You are holding a waveguide device,
right,
which fits on the front of the Prophecy 9 speaker.
Yeah.
We've got similar waveguide devices on all of the Prophecy products.
Yeah.
What's a little bit more prominent about this one is you can see sort of the slightly more unusual shape. This is around the mid-range. It's a 2-inch dome mid-range. And this is a waveguide technology we call Encompass.
Nice.
Because it looks like a compass.
Yeah. You just felt like it. You don't have to explain it. It's your company.
The important thing is like this nice kind of strange looking profile is two different profiles kind of overlaid. You've got like a steeper angled waveguide and a sort of shallower angled waveguide. the steeper waveguide allows you to gain a little bit more efficiency in the low frequency response of the mid-range.
Yeah.
So we can run a 2-inch dome mid-range down to like 400 or 500 hertz for the crossover point. Super low for a mid-range.
Yeah.
But if you can get away with that, then that mid-range drive unit is doing all of the frequencies, a huge bandwidth of frequencies.
Yeah, of course.
Between 400 hertz up to 4 kilohertz.
Yeah.
Those are all the frequencies of speech.
Yes.
And so by having all of those come from one drive unit, without any crossover filters, it's incredibly natural.
I could listen to you talk for hours. It's
You're
fascinating.
the first person to say
Yeah, first person. No, genuinely, what I find amazing is how passionate you are. It's quite clear that it's not a job, it's a labour of love, and this is obviously something you've grown up around. But I think some people would probably find it a busman's holiday, but you're at the forefront of this.
What I'm passionate about, and the reason why I didn't start out thinking, hey, I'm going to design speakers, I wanted to design cars.
Oh, okay.
That was where my studies were, and I worked in automotive for a little while. But I found that the little bits of sort of part-time work I was doing for PMC many years ago, I was doing true R&D.
Yeah.
Like where we're actually discovering and working through new technologies to make sound better.
Yeah.
I mean, like transmission lines and Laminair X, there's a lot about them which aren't fully theorized.
Yeah.
We're doing things with simulation that help us understand things better, but we haven't got it all figured out yet. So that little area of R&D is kind of what gets me excited.
It's like you said, it's good, but it's not good enough, and that's what's driving you. And I think that's brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. Do you also get involved in the design of the studio speakers, or are you strictly hi-fi?
No, everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Just like I was saying, and the same design team that did Prophecy. Yeah. They work on. We make. Speakers for the custom installation market, as well as Studio Pro. So same team working on all of those. This mid-range drive unit is used in our CI140 speaker, which is a CI speaker, custom install. And it's also used in our PMC 6.2 and PMC 8.2 studio monitors.
Got you. Okay. Well, it's a lot of information to take in, but I think they look beautiful. I've been to the room and I've seen them. They look fantastic. They sound even better. So, Ollie, what more can I say? Guys, if you want to check out PMC speakers, get in touch with your local audio team. The Prophecy, is that out now? Are they in pre-production?
They are out now. We launched them just before Christmas at a small private event. We're working our way through initial manufacturing. They are in the shops.
They're in the shops. Go have a listen. Do what you got to do. But guys, thanks very much for watching. Ollie, pleasure.
Thanks, Brad.
Lovely to meet you. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye now.